Just thought I'd film this video here today. I have no reason why. I thought you guys would enjoy the orange wall. We can, I was going to say get cozy on the bed, but maybe that's not the sentence I want to use. Hello guys, I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Amy, also known as Voldica. I'll answer to both. At some point I'll probably legally change my name to it, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about MRIs. So I want to preface this with the MRI that I recently had was not a medical one. I had it as part of a study, but I basically wanted to talk through the process of getting an MRI because it really is kind of chill. Like, it's not as bad as everyone thinks it's going to be, and I know that it can be quite a nerve-wracking thing, so I thought I would talk through exactly all of the process that I went through to get mine, in the hopes of maybe if any of you guys have to get one, making it a bit more relaxed. So yeah, I just want to preface this that mine was for a study. I've had 2 MRIs, both for studies, neither of them for medical reasons, so it might be that the procedure is slightly different for medical procedures, but this is what I did. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about it because it's an ongoing study and I don't want to like jeopardise the study or anything. I have a thing wrong, not necessarily a thing wrong, but a quirk of my brain, which is a pretty rare quirk. Doesn't really affect me that much. It is something that I've talked about before, so if you think about it you can probably work out what it is. It's not EDS or anything like that, and some researchers at the university happened to be researching this weird quirk, and I found out about it, so I was getting involved in their study. I got sent everything that I needed to know in advance, everything down from like COVID procedures to like every information sheet that you can get. They are very, very concerned about you being fully informed in exactly what is going to happen, especially if you're doing a research one. And I've done this twice. I did one in 2017, I did one like a week ago. And they both of them are very, very concerned with making sure that you know what is happening. So if at any point you have any questions, and this will go for medical ones as well, ask the people that are doing the MRI scan, because they want you to be comfortable. The more that you know beforehand and the more that they can help you beforehand, the easier everything is going to be. So yeah, do not be worried about asking questions. Read everything that you're given. The most important thing that you'll probably need to know is about the metal stuff. So if you haven't been told already, I don't know why you're watching this or needing an MRI scan, maybe you're just curious, but you cannot have any metal on you at all when you do the scan. So if you have any kind of metal implant in your body, for like surgical reasons or whatever reason, if you've ever had any kind of like shard or shrapnel or anything like that in your body, even if it's been removed, it might not have been fully removed, you cannot get an MRI scan because they basically work via a big magnet, and if you then attempt to go in the big magnet with a bit of metal in your body, it could literally just be torn out of your body. I know that sounds really graphic, but that is the case, and that is why they take this so seriously. They will ask you all this before you go in. You will be asked a series of questions on it. They will be very clear on this. They also, before I went in, had like a wand that they put over my body to like a metal detector, to make doubly sure. This was the thing that I was the most paranoid about, because I knew that this was on me and not on them. They did the metal detector and they asked all the questions, but if I had forgotten something, that was on me and not on them. And that's the thing that like you should be aware of. You forget something, that's not their fault. This is the only thing that you need to be aware of, like the main thing that you will need to do beforehand. So no glasses, no makeup, because makeup can have traces of metals in it. I wore dungarees with plastic buttons and a t-shirt with no metal in it. I had to take my shoes off before I went in because sometimes there is like metallic like powders that come from other stuff on your shoes, and it can break the machine as well as potentially harming you as well. And yeah, I had to take my bra off, or you can wear like a sports bra or something like that. So yeah, no bobby pins in hair, nothing on wrists, absolutely nothing, all jewellery off, all earrings taken out. Even if you think they're not metallic ones, it's not worth the risk, just take them out. So yeah, that is something to be aware of. Don't get a new piercing a week before you go in, because you will have to take it out for the MRI scan, or you won't be able to do the MRI. So then I'm going to talk you through the procedure of actually like getting to the machine and things like this. I was made to sign a couple of consent forms when I went in, just because again this was a study. I don't know if you'll need to sign consent forms if it's a medical reason. You might do, just to say yes, I've confirmed there's no metal on me or something like that. But I had to sign a bunch, more than usual, because it was for a study. I was told everything that I would be doing as part of the study, and the experiment that was taking place, and also the types of scans that they'll be doing while it was there, how long each of them would take. I was in the machine for about 45 minutes in total. I would imagine if it's a medical one, you won't need to be in that long. They had to take quite a few different types of scans under some different conditions while I did sort of different experiments. So normally, I don't think you'd be in there for anywhere near as long as that. But to be honest, 45 minutes was kind of fine. They took my weight. So if that's a thing that might bother you, maybe. So they asked me what my weight was, and I was like, I have literally no idea. And they were like, here is some scales. So they took my weight, and like, this isn't a thing that bothers me. I don't care. But I know that might be a thing that might bother some people. So maybe come with an answer. If you don't know your current weight, just estimate and say that you're confident, and then they won't have to do it. Or maybe just make them aware that you don't want to know what it is. So, you know, face away from the little screen and get them to write it down or whatever. I don't know why they took it. I imagine it's because there's a weight limit to the MRI scan. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's just a thing to be aware of. That's a thing that you are bothered by. Yes, and then they made me take my shoes off and go into the room itself. So they had like a prepping room where the person who was taking the scan was sitting with the computers, and then they had a room behind that which was the actual MRI scan, which obviously they have to keep separate because of like the nature of the sensitive equipment. It was freezing cold in there. I should have brought a jumper and I didn't, but yeah, I think now thinking about it, that might be a universal thing. I don't know if every MRI room is going to be the same for obvious reasons. I don't know where you live or anything like that, but because of the nature of them having to need, basically if any like sort of metal powders or anything get into the room, it can mess with the equipment. So they constantly have the air cycling in there, so the aircon's just on constantly, so it was pretty cold. I had to sit there for 45 minutes. So yeah, the first thing that they made me do was lie down on this bed, and they make you get comfortable. Then they give you things to hold with your hands. So I was given two things. I was given one was like this squeezy stress ball thing, and when I squeezed it, an alarm went off in the other room, and that was like, I need you to come in and get me, alarm. They told me to squeeze it so that I could hear the alarm, and to sort of prove to them and to prove to myself that it was working if I needed it. And on the other hand, they gave me this clicker, which was part of the experiment. I needed to click it when something happened. They then made me, as I said, lie down. They gave me a pillow to go underneath my knees, because my knees being flat I find quite painful. So they were totally chill with that. And then they tell you to like get in a position that's comfortable and make sure that it's comfortable, and then once you're in that position they will like pack your head in. So they put like, so I was sort of sitting like this, my head's like this, and I'm like, right, this is comfortable, and then they put like cushions like here so you can't move your head side to side. This sounds claustrophobic, but actually, like, I think if I looked at it, I would have thought it was claustrophobic. When I was feeling it, it didn't actually feel that bad. It was quite comfortable, and they were very much, like, insistent on, like, yes, it needs to be, like, quite snug, but it should be comfortable, and that was, like, quite a high up priority for them. The way that it worked when I went in was that when you first went into the scanner, the machine would work out where your head was in the scanner, and then run the scan. So if you moved during that scan, it would mess it up. But if you needed to readjust for whatever reason, you tell the techs, they'll take you out, you readjust for whatever reason, put you back in, they'll run it took like 10 seconds for the machine to work out where your head was, and then they start the scan again. It's just doing it in between scans, you can't move. I was also told when I came out that they have like a system, like a traffic light system, like green, amber or orange and red, about how much someone is moving, And if it goes into like the amber or the red zone, they will tell you like make sure you're sitting still, because it can really mess it up if you move. And I was really nervous about this, so I felt like I was twitching, but I went out and they were like, no, you were green all the way, so I managed to sit still. But yeah, basically the packing your head in is to make sure your head sits still. Well, and then they put this like cage over your head. It's like a white plastic thing, which I thought was going to be really annoying, because I thought I wouldn't be able to like see the screen, because I had to look at a screen through it. But actually I couldn't. I don't know if, you know how like people have blind spots? I don't know if maybe they line it up so that the cage goes into your blind spot, like right between your eyes. I don't know, I couldn't see it at all. And it didn't feel really close. I mean, if you looked at it, when I looked at it before I went in, I was like, this is tiny. Like, this is going to be so uncomfortable, but it doesn't actually feel, like if you put your hand there, like it looks like my hand's right in front of my face, doesn't it? Like this looks really close, but my hand doesn't feel really close. That's the best way I can describe it. Like it looks really close. It doesn't feel claustrophobic, so that's kind of what it felt like. And the machine only goes up to like here. It didn't go further down than that. At least mine didn't either. I don't know about other ones. I don't know if you can get MRIs in other parts of your body. I assume you can. Mine was on my head. But the machine only went up to here, so the rest of my body wasn't in the machine. So it didn't feel claustrophobic at all. And they made me look at a screen that was actually behind me, but they put like a mirror over it, which made it seem further away than it actually was. So again, it didn't feel claustrophobic at all. It felt like I had a lot more room than I could have, and even if like I did have room, I couldn't move anyway. So it didn't feel claustrophobic. I know that's the thing that a lot of people worry about. About halfway through mine, the back cushion had slipped down, and it was like resting on, you know, the nerve on the back of your head, like a bit of place right on the back of your head. Maybe it's just me, that like when it that's like rested against something, it hurts more than other parts of your head, or like it's resting on a nerve. Anyway, about halfway through, I was like, listen, it really hurts, can I put this back up? And they were literally just like, yep, we'll put another cushion there. Put me back in the machine, ran the like 10-second find your head in machine scan, and then just did the rest. So that was, not an issue, don't worry about that at all. I did a bunch of scans that lasted different lengths of time. The only other thing that I'm going to note is how loud it is. That was the most uncomfortable part of it for me, apart from the fact that it was freezing cold, but that had nothing to do with the scanner. It is very loud and constant. It's not like white noise. It's like a whirring noise that changes. And when you first hear it, it's quite alarming. That the tech will sort of warn you about it beforehand, but I honestly think that the best way to mitigate against it being alarming is knowing that it's going to be loud, because it is very, very loud. They'll make you wear earplugs, but like even through the earplugs, it is incredibly loud. So they would like vibrate the machine as well. There was one test that they did that like it, because it was so loud, it kind of the machine kind of vibrated anyway. But there was one where like I don't know what it was, like every 10 seconds it would like amp up and then like really buzz. So yeah, I don't know if like certain ones are louder than others, but I can tell you that it is a pretty constant, very loud noise. If it's something that you find uncomfortable, maybe let the techs know before you go in. I had a bit of a headache when I came out, but I always have a headache, so that's not that big news. But just something to be aware of, that it is very, very loud. I think sometimes if you're doing it for medical reasons, they might let you wear headphones or like play music or something. Because I was doing a test, I couldn't do that, so I don't know what the situation is otherwise. So there's two parts of my scan. They did the test itself, and then they did like a neutral scan where it was like not based, like I wasn't doing the experiment. And during that, they just made me watch like relaxing videos. They were like, you can close your eyes and do nothing, you can ask for a video, or we've got this like 10-hour relaxing compilation on YouTube, and I just went with the relaxing one. And yeah, that made it better because it has something to focus on. It is also quite bright, at least it was for me. The light from it was quite bright. So again, be prepared that you might have a bit of a headache when you come out, especially if you do it for 45 minutes like I did. I think the longest scan I did, continuous scan, was about 10 minutes long. I guess if you just get in one scan, they might just do the 10-minute one, but again, I don't know how it's going to work in your specific circumstances if you are watching this. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I can sort of warn you about and talk you through before you go in for a scan. The main thing that I want to say is just like try not to worry about it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but like people do this all day, every day, and there's like very, very few issues. And the main thing that I was worried about was accidentally like leaving a bobby pin in my hair. But the techs were really, really thorough about that. They were like, make sure, they made sure that everything was okay, because not only do they not want to harm me, but they don't want to break their expensive machine either. It really, really isn't that bad. I'm getting an image of my brain printed on a coffee mug in compensation. I don't know when that's gonna arrive, but if it comes through before this video goes out, I'll put a picture of my brain here. There'll be a picture of my brain here either way. If I don't get the images in time, I'll show you the image from my scan in 2017, and I'll also tell you down here which one it is. So yeah, it'll be fine. You'll have a picture of your brain or whatever body part you get scanned, which is honestly pretty cool. Best advice that I can give you is to, as you said, be prepared, know what you're getting into, ask questions, do not be afraid to buzz to come out if you want to. And yeah, it'll be fine. It really, really will. So yeah, good luck. I hope it goes well. If you're doing it for medical reasons, I really hope that you find some answers, and whatever those answers may be. And if you're doing it for research purposes, enjoy your time in an MRI machine, because you're probably not going to have it very often, and you'll get a cool picture of your brain, and like, that's fun. Okay. If you have any requests or questions, then leave them down in the comments. New videos every Wednesday. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll see you next week.